Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 9 of Kenya's Market Map. This is a podcast where we discuss business and finance happenings in Kenya and Africa at large. We're so glad to have you guys again. Special thank you for supporting us and our content. So today on this week, we'll be discussing about the resumption of subsidies. Fuel prices have gone down here in Kenya. We'll also be talking about Spire Bank and Mwalimu Sacco. This is your number one business podcast where you get in-depth analysis. Whether you're a government personnel, you'll be getting analysis on what it means, for the government side. If you're a business person, an entrepreneur, a student, or a polymath at large, this is the podcast. So follow us on Twitter at marketmap_KE. We are on LinkedIn, Kenya's Market Map. We also have a website, kenyasmarketmap.com. Reach out to us. Tell us what you think. Share new ideas. We're very open to that. My name is Keegan Kiplimo, and I'm your main host for today. And with me, I have
Easter Fanning.
And the one and only
Daniel Kalia.
Wow, fantastic. So remember, as we said in episode 8, that we'll be starting... Each episode will now be starting with the highlights. So I want to get your highlights, gentlemen. Let me start with Easter. Highlights for the week.
Come on. Okay. First of all, it has been a very not so good week for me. Been a bit sick. But other than that, everything else has been fine. Now, generally, my highlight with regards to is actually a follow-up on what my highlight was last week.
Yeah.
With the whole ongoings between Kenya and Somalia dispute boundary.
Yeah.
With the ICJ, which was supposed to... The issue was before the ICJ.
Uh-huh.
So the ICJ issued its judgment.
Yes.
And it was not so much to the advantage of Kenyans. Kenyans are not so happy with it. And people are like, it was expected because there was the whole fiasco about the jury being biased because it's constituted by a Somali there.
Yeah.
So there was all that. So this judgment came out and it was like complementing what people were expecting before.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's time to brace for military muscles to be flexed between these two countries. What exactly? But I heard, I'm not sure about this, but I heard that the KDF is setting up base in some place near...
In Lamu. Yeah, in Lamu.
In Lamu,
County.
yeah?
Yeah.
Could be a strategic
they already
move.
have a base there, actually. We have a marine center.
Base, yeah.
The Kenya Navy is there.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. I don't think we'll get to that extent of going to war.
Well, the president
I wouldn't want that.
We are not so... Okay, generally, like I said, people are not happy with that.
Yeah.
And the president has not gone out and issued a statement to say that he's going to respect that.
Yeah, actually,
as would be expected.
Yeah, the position of
diplomatically,
of
that's
Kenya,
what would be.
Kenya's position is that even before that, they will not recognize.
They'll not honor.
They'll not honor. Recognize.
But the president already said they are not honoring.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm wondering whether we should expect any guns to be cocked at the moment.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we will go to war over such a thing. But again, Somalia also, for them, they felt aggrieved to some extent because what ICJ did is the disputed area, the larger percentage of it went to Somalia and Kenya got a small bit. Somalia wanted the whole of it, Kenya wanted the whole of it as well. So both parties feel aggrieved to some extent.
Okay, I'd like to see the development for that. What these respective heads of state would come up with.
Yeah.
But that area apparently has a lot of natural oil and natural gas reserve potential,
and is fish rich.
Yeah, which I think is why
that's the bone of contention.
I think that's the primary reason behind the issues is the fish and then the natural gas reserves that is in that particular area. But did you see the irony of Uhuru when he's taking up a seat in
the UN?
The UN, and then your saying you are not going to recognize the decision of another UN body.
Yeah.
Like,
That's some guts,
it's interesting because Kenya is actually chairing the UN Security Council for the month of October, which we are in.
Yeah.
And ICJ is the UN court, so to speak. So you're chairing the UN Security Council for this month, and you don't want to recognize a
its
UN
position
court,
on certain issues.
yeah, as in, that's ironical.
Your highlight done for the week?
I'm trying to think of my highlight of the week.
So many.
I'm just going blank. The highlight, I think I was just home. You guys made me come back to Nairobi for the podcast, but it's fine.
I remember.
It is fine. It is okay. That was my highlight, I think, being home.
That is how much we love you guys. We love being there and giving you content.
Yes.
We
Quality
do
content.
anything.
Content creation.
Okay, since Dan doesn't have an highlight, for me, my highlight is actually quite political. We saw that the former Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Odinga, said that when he becomes president, come August next year, he'll bring the 6,000, the famous and infamous 6,000 Kenya shilling unemployment benefit that will go out to youths. And there's been a whole debate.
Did you
about
buy that? Did you buy it?
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it, but because of one reason, because of our current fiscal performance, I don't see where we can get the money to do that. You know, we are cash strapped at the moment. But it's a good idea, you know, because unemployment in Kenya is high. But again, this is a huge debate. I'd like to hear what our viewers would like to say about this. So reach out to us on our social media. Let's hear what you think about that 6,000 Kenya shillings.
I'm so skeptical about that because wasn't that the main or the reason or the sort of model that was formulated for kazi kwa vijana or kazi mtaani, where it was not as much getting work done in the vijijis or those mtaani works to dig those streets. It was to give people money. The youngsters sort of to give them money for survival during the cushion money sort of during the corona times. But it was only 500 bob. Did it work as
500? I'm not sure. I think the numbers were varying depending on regions. Oh
no, the stories I got from the person I was happened to have a friend who was engaged in those things, and what they used to pay people was 500 bob.
Okay,
the people who did that. So I was like, if even that did not work as well as it was intended,
it couldn't be sustained. I mean,
so what is
sustainability is a huge
6,000. You can't sustain 500, but you're going to sustain 6,000. Interesting.
we are cash strapped. That's the bottom line for me. We can't foot such. There are a number of ways that the government could fund that. Number one is by increasing taxes on people so that to fund that unemployment benefit. That's one of the ways it could be done.
Please don't give them ideas.
But then,
thank you, Kalia.
But then raising taxes at the moment is not the best thing.
I'm going to be
Number
bad
two,
ideas.
It's the worst.
The government can cut its costs. Okay, it can hugely cut its costs so that to create money for that. And then
that's the only sustainable.
That's the third way is to borrow. Money.
The ideas you're giving this government.
So for me, I'll go with the second one.
The ideas you're giving this government.
If you are to sustain such a thing, I'll use the second one where the government cuts it cuts its expenditure on many things, particularly things that are brought about by corruption. Ghost workers and the likes. If the government can cut costs on such things, then they can easily fund this program. But then it's a roadside declaration. Let me tell our viewers that. So don't expect much out of it.
Yeah, but that one, I think someone tried to do the math. I don't remember who it was, but I think if you go somewhere on Twitter, on Mohammed Walier's Twitter handle, you'll see, I think it was coming to around 12B a month by the estimates of that 6,000 shillings.
That's
payment.
substantial.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Can't afford that. I mean, we are borrowing what, 2 billion for some infrastructural project.
The Eastern Bypass.
To expand the Eastern Bypass.
So 12 billion to tatoa wapi if we're just giving people.
We've also borrowed 6.4 billion.
Look at that.
We also borrowed 6.4 billion for the for the BRT, which will be put in Mombasa Road as well as Thika Road. Borrowed it from the Korean government.
Yeah.
And for me, let me just say this, as part of highlights. For me, I welcomed that with open arms, the 6.4 billion debt from Korea.
Yeah.
This is because that was I was looking at the numbers, and that was the kind of debt that we should have been borrowing all along from 2013. Okay?
How different is it? Tell our
Because
viewers.
it's 0.1% annually in terms of interest, and then
What is the denomination of this loan?
I'm not sure about that.
Unless it is Kenyan shillings, you should not be too excited.
No. I'm in terms of rates, okay? This is 0.1% interest rate annually, and then 0.1% I think service fee annually as well. So you see, such debts are very, very affordable. The government is taking infrastructure bonds at 12.7%. Okay, so those are the kind of debts that we should have been borrowing. That would be easy, for Mwananchi to bear, unlike now. But again, while I was excited about that, I looked at the 2 billion that Kenya has borrowed for the Eastern bypass.
Expansion,
yeah,
so just expansion.
It was signed, I think it was signed in September, that loan. But then the government, the treasury particularly, has not disclosed the lender. So I was like, why? I mean, you should tell us who we are. This goes back to the conversation about the debt register.
Is it an individual?
The debt it could be. The debt
know.
register needs to be published, they need to put it on billboards.
Yeah.
We know who are we owing this money,
And how
much it is, and what are the timelines.
And the terms.
Actually, going back to the 6 billion, the person who was trying to do the math was actually Ahmed Nasir, the Grand Mullah.
The 6,000.
The 6,000. So you're saying 6,000 shillings a month, and you have 10 million unemployed Kenyan.
Individuals,
Or
Could be
unemployed
more
youth. So that is 6,000 per month, and you have 10 million unemployed youth. So that's actually 60 billion
per month.
Yeah,
per month. This government has a lot of jokes, man. A lot of jokes.
Anyway, so guys, let's.
last thing, on this ICJ ruling. Is there a case that this government has won? I don't know. This should be an indictment. That one. That word is a big word. Please,
indictment.
Academy people, tell us how it is pronounced. But the Attorney General, because Kenya lost in the ICJ.
Do you know the Kenyan government is losing in cases within this country?
Yeah.
So how hard can we flex our muscles huko nje?
Yeah, the Kenyan government and Arsenal. Same was that.
Those guys have been taking serious L's. They've been taking serious losses. Let me just read for you. There have been calls on social media, that the Attorney General should just resign because the number of L's he has picked up is a lot. We've seen that the things that have been pronounced null and void by the judiciary in Kenya. 23 laws that have been passed by Parliament. BBI, Huduma number, failure to swear in judges, deportation of one and the only man with two names, Miguna. Minimum tax has been crushed. And it goes on and on. Appointments of CAS and some CAS, it goes on and on. This really shows a big gap that, number one, people are working in silos. Okay. So people don't even consult each other. So when people are coming up with ideas, there's no public participation, there's no engaging of stakeholders and the likes. So people are working in silos. Even NCPB that owns silos, even it itself is working in silos.
That one is being true
Pun
to form.
intended.
I'm about to. Okay, we could be digressing here a bit, but I have a question. What do you guys think of what you see in the composition of our cabinet, of President Uhuru Kenyatta's cabinet? That today someone is cabinet secretary for devolution. The next morning he's in defense. Such a critical docket. Or if you compare that to what you see in the United States, where no one can hold a docket as critical as defense, if he's not a military
man
major or general, What do you guys think of that
Well, that has always been the Kenyan
way of doing things?
Culture, where you are moved according to your political alignment and your political
And whose boots you're licking?
Yeah, what is convenient at that particular time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like for instance, when the reshuffle in the energy.
Yes, CS.
Yeah. This was hot on the heels of the whole PPA issues after the presidential task force. And then there was movement. He was moved to.
Now he's in devolution.
He was moved to devolution.
Yeah.
And is there a docket that was taken away? That was from...
No,
there was it was just shuffling.
Yeah, there's a department. It was Labor.
It was Ministry of Labor, which is headed by CS Chelugui, where some departments were moved to the it's called the CS of Gender, Margaret Kobia.
Yeah.
So some of the departments were moved from CS Chelugui to CS Kobia.
Yeah, I think it's a Kenyan way of doing things, because from these reshuffles, I think what you can draw is that it looks like CS is aligned to the DP seem to be taken off of the
lucrative
lofty,
sort of
dockets. Dockets and ministries that have huge budget allocations and taken to those that had less. But it's a Kenyan way of doing things.
My contention is on competency.
Exactly.
Okay, and here's the thing. Let me not start from competency. Let me start from the point of vision. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you've appointed me today to be the minister of devolution, okay, because if you look at my background, I have studied things to do with devolution. I have not, this is just an example. So my background, I've done a lot of governance issues. Okay. So I fit into that docket. So when I get there, I come up with things that I want to achieve. Okay, I have a laid down vision of things that I want to get done. So when you move me, I'll automatically abandon that vision. If I hand it over to someone else, that person whom I've handed it over to may not treat it with the seriousness it deserves and may not even share in the vision in the first place. Number two, now if you're moving me from devolution, if you appointed me into devolution because you looked at my credentials and everything and saw that I am fit, I'm the best person for this position. Now, when you move me to defense, I know nothing. Focal, I know zero about security. So how do you expect me to perform there? I mean, this thing, I expect it to move only two ways. You either be appointed or demoted.
Exactly.
There's only two ways.
Exactly.
That was the whole idea with the new constitution, where it was CSs should be technocrats and not political appointees, because before ministers used to be appointed from members of parliament. Then the constitution was with the new constitution, we were like, no, we want technocrats. And I think that was what happened with the first regime, the first set of CSs. But then after a while, it was like it's like they want politicians or people with that experience in the government. So initially we saw, again, with Keter, who was asked not to vie for a political seat.
The senatorial seat.
Kericho County.
So that it can be BCS. You have Mwangi Kiunjuri back then, who was also asked. Actually, he stepped down from being MP. Then came to appointed CS. Who else? The third person I can't remember. Also, again, so it looks like, and now with this shuffling, there's an element of political, and I think it will come more in 2022, where I think a huge number of former governors, the guys who finished their two terms, are going to get ministerial positions.
They just don't want to go home yet.
So
where are they going?
They have to be created for positions.
All these guys who are busy campaigning, your Johos. I saw Joho is now, of course, he's usually very strong in ODM.
The governor of Kakamega.
Oparanya. I've seen the governor of Narok, not Narok, Turkana. Has moved to is in UDA now. I saw him. He was elected on an ODM ticket. So especially these 2-term governors, they are going to be eyeing those seats.
As enough of politics now. You know today I'm the boss here. So a lot has been happening in
sorry, my highlight before we move to your...
You said you didn't have a highlight.
I found a highlight.
Okay.
It's come to me.
Okay.
It's a totally random, shouldn't be a highlight, but yeah, it was a highlight for me.
Wait. I hope it's not about that small team called Manchester United.
No.
Okay.
Please put some respect in the big teams. My highlight is I saw that Kabarak University appointed Willy Mutunga as an adjunct professor of public law. And I was like, if I was a law student, I'd be like very excited to attend like class.
Kabarak University.
Yeah.
You know, I see what you're doing.
I'm just saying.
I really see what you're doing.
I'm trying to find the business or financial angle in that.
I mean, it's a highlight.
It doesn't have to have a financial
it's my
angle.
highlight of the week.
But I see what Kalia is doing.
No,
if you know Kalia so well, you'd know he's doing something. He's up to something.
I'm just saying, like, if you're going to class and it's former CJ lecturing you, I'll pay attention. Like, I'll be volunteering to go to that class by myself. But anyway, yes, that was my highlight.
Yeah, Mutunga is a great guy,
Very cool.
He has taught before, at
UN,
University of Nairobi and other places. Great CJ, So let's move away from
that was my highlight. I said it was nothing. It should not be an highlight. An highlight. My God, vowels. That's problem. Anyway, just carry on.
Okay.
Kizungu.